Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Today is Valentine's Day, and of course, we have a Jewish Valentine's Day, which is Tu B'Av, the day of love and matchmaking and romance. But if you're going to celebrate Valentine's Day, here's my recommendation how to do it. Go out and buy a dozen beautiful red roses, long stem roses for your wife. Bring it home, put it in a beautiful vase. Then set the table with a beautiful white tablecloth and put out the finest china and silverware and glassware that you have. Then take out the most beautiful candlesticks you own, silver, and set them on the table. And then go out and get the most beautiful, expensive bottle of wine. And then prepare the most lavish, beautiful meal. And then sit down with your wife as she lights the Shabbat candles. You make kiddush on the beautiful wine and have a wonderful, lovely, romantic Shabbat dinner with your wife. This week's Torah portion contains the cosmic marriage between God and the Jewish people, the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, because our rabbis say that God took us out of Egypt and He chose us as His bride. He chose us as His nation from all the nations of the world, just the way a man chooses a woman from all the women in the world. And then He took us to Mount Sinai, and at Mount Sinai He proposed to us, and He said, I am the Lord your God, you should have no other God. Just like a man pledges fidelity to a woman and a woman to a man under the chuppah, God committed His love to us, and we reciprocated by pledging to always be loyal and faithful to God. And our rabbis say that we stood at Mount Sinai, we stood underneath the mountain, the verse says. Why beneath the mountain? Because the mountain, Mount Sinai, served as a chuppah, as a marriage canopy for the Jewish people. And then God gave us the Torah. The Torah is the marriage contract, which constitutes and governs our relationship with God. And then God brought us to the land of Israel, which is building a home for us as a nation with God and with all future descendants of our family. And so as King Solomon says, I am unto my beloved, and my beloved is unto me. Ani l'dodi v'dodi li is really a metaphor for the relationship between God and the Jewish people. And so as we celebrate this Shabbat, the cosmic marriage between God and the Jewish people, and we celebrate our marriage with our spouses, we think about the meaning of love, of ahavah. And our rabbis tell us that the word ahavah, the root of the word is hav, which means to give. That the way we grow in our love is not by receiving, but by giving. The more we give to each other, the more we express our love to each other, the more we invest in one another, the more we do for each other, the more we grow to love each other. And that's why in a relationship between parents and children, parents love the children more than the children love the parents. If the relationship was based on receiving, children should love their parents more than the parents love them, because the children have received a lot more from the parents than the parents have received from the children. But it's precisely because parents are always giving to their children from the day they were born, feeding them, providing for them, taking care of them. And because parents have done so much and given so much to their children, therefore they love them so much more than the children could ever love their parents. And that is why in our relationship to God, it's based on mitzvot, doing good deeds, because the more we do, the more we grow in our love. There's a story about a father in the olden days. He had a wagon, and he was driving his son to a town. The son was sitting in the coach, and the father was behind the reins of the horse. And like all kids, they always want to drive when they're young. It looks exciting. So the kid said to his dad, Dad, could I ride the horse? I've been watching you. I know how to do it. Well, the kid was about 11 years old. The father said, fine. Sat him in the seat of the coach behind the horses, handed him the reins, showed him what to do. And the father went into the coach as the son took over the reins. And sure enough, the son did a great job, and he rode the horses all the way to the town. When he got there, beaming with pride, the son said to the father, Dad, how did I do? And the father said, son, you did great. But you know what the difference between the way I ride a horse and the way you do? The difference is, when I was riding the wagon, I would always turn around and look at you to check on you from time to time to see how you're doing back there. But I noticed that not once did you look back to check on me. Our relationship with God, our Father in heaven, is that God is always looking down, checking on us, watching over us. This Shabbat, like every day and every Shabbat, we need to look up and express our love to Hashem. And that's what Shabbat is, not just on Valentine's Day, but every single Shabbat of the year. Have a wonderful Shabbat.